This is Gus.
And I'm Chad.
Nice to meet you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 7 of Chad and Gus. Nice to meet you. It is continually nice to meet you, and nice to meet all of our new guests. Today we have Tina Chapman from Grand Catch.
Grand Catch.
Grand Catch, baby.
I'm Grand.
It
I'm
is
grand.
a grand catch.
It is,
It's a
indeed.
great catch.
Well, is a great catch better than a grand catch?
I don't know.
Well, no, because the Grand Catch is what we have that has like 6 pounds of shellfish. It's got a little bit of everything. That's the one. If you're gonna come and get that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Grand
that was a
catch.
Yeah, it's like 6 pounds of food, and I've seen anywhere from entire tables take it down. But my favorite was I saw 2 like 90-year-old women sit down and order this thing, and they ate it all, and we were just in awe that like, oh my God,
Nice.
they were this big around, and they took down 6 pounds of shellfish. I mean, it's got a pound of king crab, like a pound and a half of mussels. It's amazing.
Oh my God.
Put in work. Well,
Yeah.
they're no spring chicken. They've been around the block.
They've been around the world 90 years.
90 years.
They've
right.
eat some seafood before.
Mhm.
They're like, let's show them how it's done.
Exactly.
Did anything crazy happen to you this last weekend? Or like this last like week?
Yes,
Or
every day.
Work-wise?
Every day.
Yeah.
Like
I
what?
think I kick someone out every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus, that's exhausting.
Well, one day I didn't actually. One of the days of my day shift, I didn't kick someone out, but I was still there when someone got kicked out at the end of the night or towards the end of the night. So, but then I think every day.
That's fucking exhausting. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
That's
no,
awful.
it's just getting. Well, I mean, it's downtown St. Paul, right outside of a bus stop. Sometimes, but then there's a certain. Well, you like to be nice for as long as you can,
Right.
and then you're like, oh, I probably should have stopped being nice a while ago.
Exactly.
And then,
I should have just been a bitch from the beginning, and just it would have had the same
but you
result.
don't.
Yeah.
What's the point?
That mentality defeats enjoying your job and all those. You're
Yeah.
like, I want to give you all the benefits of the doubt,
Right.
and then.
I want to give you all the chances
Yeah.
to. Maybe there's a misunderstanding.
But
that,
then also
yeah.
that sometimes you feel like you set that person up in a way where you're like, oh, if I was just more upfront about how you should need to calm down a long time ago, you wouldn't be thinking it's like some surprise. Or like, no, you're done tonight, and we're going to ask you to leave, and then you create a scene. I'm like, yeah, no, you could have just been done tonight and came back tomorrow, but now you've made a scene, so never come back.
Right.
Like we're trying to make sure that it was fine, and then what we're saying right now, you're good.
So
Yeah.
I had this lady come in actually yesterday. She's been in a few times, and every single time she's getting ready to leave. So like I would only serve her like 2 drinks, so she might be drinking beforehand. But she seems fine as soon as she sits down. She's like super calm, and she sits there and she'll have whiskey on the rocks. After the first one, I started seeing like, oh, there's a little bit of a shift, but not enough to throw out alarms and be like,
Sure.
oh, okay, you're cut
Right.
out. So she'll have one more, and then eventually she starts like, I need to eat. And I'm like, okay, at least she knows that she needs to eat.
Mhm.
But next thing you know, like she's just all over the place. And I'm like, holy crap. I literally just only gave her 2 drinks. Like, this can't be my fault.
Right.
Like, I've been doing this long enough that I'm like, I know when to cut somebody off when they're
Right.
sitting at my bar, and that's that. So she's sitting there, and she finally ordered food, and she started asking me, like, for another drink. I go, look, you need to eat all this food first
Right.
before I even consider giving you another
Right.
drink. Like, I just can't afford that.
Right.
And this place is, like, full of regulars. So now all these people are watching me deal with this one person that they've never seen before.
Right.
And
oh God, that's awkward. I
yeah.
hate that shit.
So now they're looking at me like this. Gus, are you gonna kick her out?
Right. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna let her chill here for a little bit.
Right.
Let her sober up. I'm not gonna give her another drink. I put a water in front of
Right.
her, gave her some food, and then she was like, I ate a little bit. She ate like 3 fries. And I was like, no, you gotta eat your whole burger, your fries, and again, maybe. At
Right.
one point, she started like catcalling me so I can give her another drink. She goes, hey, sweetie, hey, honey. At one point, she said, hey, sweet cheeks.
Oh, fuck that.
As
Oh,
I was,
my God.
as I was bent over grabbing a Miller Lite bottle, and I was like, thanks.
Wow.
I appreciate You checking out that ass.
Yeah.
Fucking people.
I was like, what the hell? I can't go around saying that to anybody
No one
else.
should say that to anybody,
Nope.
by the way. Like,
Yeah.
just don't.
Yeah.
God.
And at that point, I go, you do realize what you're doing. Now you're forcing me to kick you out.
Right.
Like, now you're forcing me, like, now you're getting that level above, and everybody in the bar is actually just watching how this is becoming a train wreck.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you're affecting everybody.
Yep.
You're
Yeah.
not just being weird on your own.
So at one point I was just like, fine, you want another drink? I go and I pour a ginger ale with water, with the rocks. I put it right in front of her. I'm like, drink that. And she goes, thank you.
Did she even notice?
She did not notice.
No.
Still charged her to $7.
Oh, no, that's-
I was like,
yeah.
this is what it is.
It's one of the best tricks in the game. You're like, you're too drunk, and I'm slowly making your drinks weaker and weaker
Yeah.
until you've got just cranberry juice.
You pour it right in the straw.
And for
That's
the
all you get.
yep. And for my confirmation, you're too drunk. You're drinking that and not saying anything
Yeah.
about
Yep,
it.
you're not saying a fucking
And
word.
for your
so
confirmation, I'm charging you for that cocktail,
Yeah.
so it looks like you had that.
it's
Yeah.
a win all around.
And then,
Everyone
and
wins.
one of the guys goes like this, Gus, are you sure about that? I go up to him, I'm like, do you realize what ginger ale looks like? Just like whiskey sitting in the glass.
Seriously.
And then the guy apologizes like, oh, I should have never questioned how you do stuff.
Right, yeah.
So, what do you do for Grand Catch?
So
what is your title?
I am the general manager of Grand Catch, which is basically I do all the things that no one else has time for. That's kind of my motto as a GM. So I take care of everything. I have all the answers, and it's horrifying.
So you put in all the DoorDash orders.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Well,
Ain't nobody working got time for that.
no,
That's
it's
a
time
ding,
for
ding,
that.
ding, ding, ding. A chow down too, and you're just
Oh
like,
my
ah.
Again?
It's the loudest, most obnoxious noise. I hate DoorDash with a passion. Like, me personally, I'll never use DoorDash, and I try really hard to talk places out of it, but
You know, I actually last night was going to order food, and the place that I thought they'd have a delivery, they didn't. They just had DoorDash, so I didn't order from them.
thank you. Yeah, DoorDash is the worst.
I ordered
like,
from a place that actually delivers their own
Right.
stuff. Because I
Right.
was like, nope.
that can pay their staff to,
Yeah.
do the thing.
And I might get my food on an actual time scale, not
Yeah.
some random person, whether or not
Exactly.
they want to continue working for
Oh
the
my
rest
God.
of the day. Time
Yeah.
scale.
I mean, I would work DoorDash just to get free food. I mean, I'd just be like, ah, no.
Oh, somebody messed it up, not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Just
God, the amount
Somebody
of
messed it up, not me.
it's the worst.
so before you were a GM,
Mhm.
where did you start?
God, so I've been in the industry for about 15, 16 years. I first started way back at Loto Life Cafe with David Fema,
I feel like that
Cecily
name pops
Campbell,
up quite a bit.
and Justin Sutherland was my restaurant manager. So that was my first real foray into like for real restaurants.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked at O'Malley's before that, and I worked at Acapulco and a few other spots. But that was the first time that I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. Is my career. I want to be in restaurants.
What was the difference between real restaurant? Just like one that like more of a fine dining, you mean, or
More for me in that, like, this is what I want to do. So,
Gotcha.
like, my first real restaurant gig where it's like, this is what I'm going to do, and it wasn't a, means to an end or a summer job and something I'm doing while I'm in college.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, did you go to school then to be in restaurant management?
No, I went to the U of M, and I have a degree in psychology. Just super helpful, I'll say that. Like,
Dealing with customers and
boy,
dealing with your
oh my
staff.
God, this last year specifically has really tested. Thank you, U of M, because I use that shit every day, but it's fucking exhausting. But yeah, so I went to the U of M, and during that time I had worked at Acapulco and O'Malley's and other little spots. But after I graduated, I'm like, I keep coming back.
So you're the general manager. You obviously didn't start general managing.
I did not.
What was I guess you said Loto was like the first. What was your role there?
So my role there was just a front of house manager. It was my first
Okay.
management gig, and that was my first, like, this is what I'm going to do.
So you've always been in management? You didn't start off as like a server? You didn't start off as a
I did.
food runner?
So way back in 2005, I went to the Minnesota School of Bartending, and I got my bartending degree.
Jen went there.
Yeah, and they said, we'll place you with a job. And they did, as a hostess at Acapulco in Woodbury. So Acapulco, Woodbury, I was just opening that year. So my very, very first, like, I guess you'd say my first restaurant gig was opening a restaurant as a hostess in Woodbury. So I started there doing that, and then I served, and then I slowly went into bartending. Hopped around at other restaurants, served and bartended, and then I'm like, no, I'm going to get a real girl job with my fancy degree. And I was a leasing agent at a fancy apartment complex, and I hated my life. I'm like, this is the worst. And then I saw the ad for Loto, and I'm like, you know, I've been hopping around to different restaurants. I obviously like it. I think this is what I'm going to do. So Cecily Campbell-Bazat was the person who hired me, and she took a really big leap of faith, having literally no management experience. Just be like, sure, I'll give you a shot as a restaurant manager. So it was more like the day-to-day floor manager, or wasn't the GM there by any means. But got to work with some really good people, David Fema and Justin, and then within that, it was Lifetime. So I got to move around to the other Lifetime restaurants and meet other people there. And yeah, it was a crazy, cool experience.
So you can say you've been around the block, like Jenny.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
There's a restaurant in St. Paul I worked at.
Kind of, right? Like, I've worked at probably a dozen or so other restaurants. Like, my resume is like 4 pages if I were to include everything. I obviously don't, but yeah, I've worked at a lot of places.
Now, with that being said, what direction do you want to move forward? Are you trying to open up your own restaurant at some point?
Yeah, so, you know, it's interesting because this last year really has, like, changed a lot of things for me. But I would have said last year that, yes, my goal was to own my own restaurant and have my own thing someday. And now I'm not so sure. I've lost a lot of faith in humanity and just, oh man. So I don't know what my future holds with that. I do love hospitality and I do love restaurants. So I think I'm just a little jaded right now, and I'll probably get over it, but, you know, we're all masochists in this industry. We all come back. We literally burn ourselves for our jobs, and we keep coming back, so I'll probably come back. Yeah. I'll probably end up what I do.
So as progressing from serving, bartending into general managing, in terms of interacting with customers and staff, how do you feel that shift is in terms of providing an experience for people?
Yeah, I think definitely having the experience of coming from. So I've literally worked everything in the front of house. Meritage was really where I truly cut my teeth with like service and really giving that extra step. It's one thing to take orders; it's another to serve, right? Mm-hmm. And so coming from that side of things and really understanding all the intricacies of the front, I think can help me explain to my staff the why this is important. And then for the guests too, it's like I can kind of see problems before they happen. So hopefully I can stop that late ticket before it becomes a problem. I can be proactive and send them a round of appetizers or something like that. So I think it helps make things a little bit more smooth. And I definitely feel like I get respect from the staff that I can do everything. I can do what you do, and I can do it well, and I'm not going to step on your toes, but if you need help, like, I've got your back. I can jump behind the bar and start making things.
With that being said, being the general manager, how do you come across, like, having to comp people's meals? Like, what does it take to comp somebody's meal?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people will complain about small things and then expect something in return.
Sure.
Now, you have to gauge that where you're like, do I comp this, or do I say, I'm sorry that this didn't work out, but here's your bill anyways?
Yeah, so that happens at Grand
Go
Catch.
fuck yourself.
Kind of. That definitely happens a lot of places, but I notice it a lot at Grand Catch because it's shellfish, and it's expensive, and there's a sticker shock a little bit that people will get. Generally, I look at it as it's a case-by-case basis. There isn't really a formula, but it's how is the guest treating me? Like, if they're, man, I'm really sorry, I wanted to try this, and I took a chance, and I just really don't like it. It's like, I appreciate that. You know, you're just being honest. You tried something new. Like, I don't want to punish people for going outside of the box because I've worked at a lot of restaurants that have ethnic food or very specialty foods, and so I can appreciate that. Like, it's $30, but I want to try it. You know, and then you're disappointed, and it's like, well, shit. I want you to come back, so I'll usually try and gauge it that way. However, if someone says, like, we have 3 kinds of shrimp on the menu, head on, which I think you would assume the head is on it. It's got a fucking
But does it
face.
have a tail?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's the whole shrimp.
Yeah.
And so I've had people.
Just the head.
I've had people order
Just from the
it.
head on.
Yeah.
You don't get the.
Maybe that's it. Just the
you
head
suck
forward. That's all you get. The tails are separate.
Yeah.
That's
but
on
we've
our
had
other
people order that and then get mad. Well, the heads are on it. Like, it literally says head on shrimp. So no, I'm not going to comp you for that. Or if they're just entitled and rude about it, like, make me want to help you.
Now, with you being, 15 years you said in the industry, being the GM, do you feel like that's something that is, that you would brag about to your friends in a sense, and do you feel like they respect what you do for work? And like a lot of people in our industry, we have a lot of industry friends.
Yeah.
So I'm saying with the people that are not in the industry, do you go, I'm the GM of this?
Are your psychology friends like, man, I wish I was GM?
Well, unfortunately, after 15 years in the industry, I don't have a lot of friends that are outside of the industry.
No,
I do, but it's something that I've never been afraid to be like, I work in a restaurant. I've always thought it's cool, and that's why I'm in it. You get to meet cool people. You get to eat for free.
You meet cool people like us.
Yeah,
you get to interact with us.
You get to
for free. Well, I mean, we charge you for the stuff we serve you, but we don't charge you just to hang out with us.
Right.
Oh, no, to your tip us, then kind of do.
I've always liked that aspect of it, so I've never had a problem with being embarrassed or anything. And I've also been very selective about I don't just work anywhere. That I started working at Meritage because I wanted to work somewhere I couldn't afford to eat at. So
I know, and that's a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. Like, that's where it's like, you get to know people, and you can basically eat anywhere and be treated like a freaking prince coming into a place.
The connections you can make, like the random people that I know that aren't even in restaurants because they sat down at my bar and we had a conversation, and then they turned out to be cool people, and then they introduced me to someone. It's like, this is, if you talk about networking, like, that's probably the best spot for it.
Golfing at Pebble Beach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flying on a private plane.
Yep.
Somewhere.
Or you're at some place, like you're in the suite of the Wild game, just because you serve a guy a regular. He's like, hey, stop by, I'll invite you guys over for a game. You're like, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I will come get drunk for free with you watching a hockey game.
My husband had a regular that turned out to be like the pitching coach for some MLB team. I think it was the Twins, but I don't know for sure. And then he hooked up his friend that worked at Best Buy because he's like, I'm trying to redo my home theater. So then my husband was like, oh, my buddy does all the stuff at Best Buy. So they hooked each other up, and it's like those kinds of connections. Like, where else would you find that?
And that'll get you respect from the people that don't work in there. Like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like, wow. I'm like, well, I just got invited.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Why? I do my job well.
Right. We got tickets to the Budweiser
the deck.
Yeah. It's like, just for, I don't know, thanks, beer reps. Love you guys.
Yeah, actually, beer reps are good friends.
They are really good friends to have.
Thanks, guys.
Shout out to the reps. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Without you, we couldn't, we could do a lot of stuff. But
it would be a lot harder.
It would be
a lot
so much harder.
But you walk in with free stuff, and we take it.
Wait, tell me about the 3 shrimp that's on your...
So we have head-on shrimp, which is, the whole shebang. It's got the most flavors.
Is that the one that's also in shell, just hard fried? Because I had that.
That's a salt and pepper shrimp. It's the same actual shrimp, but yes, we fry that one. And then we have jumbo shrimp, which is like halfway. It has no head, but it still has the shell.
What size are those?
Jumbo shrimps, they're huge, man. They're like an ounce a piece. They're amazing. They're like, that's the best bang for your buck for sure. Like, that's the one that I like.
Bucks.
Yeah, that's the one I like to recommend to people.
Okay.
And then we have the peeled shrimp, and that's the easy, like, no work shrimp.
Like Red Lobster shrimp.
Yeah, and I mean, ours are good, but you don't get as much flavor because it's boiled without the shell, so all the flavor goes out in the water then. Okay. So I like shell on shrimp better. But you gotta do a little bit of work for it.
Now, are you paying for like a little portion of it, or are you paying per shrimp on the jumbo shrimp?
Ooh, everything is by the pound.
Everything's by the pound.
Yep, and so that, again, best bang for your buck.
It's a
You're
good way to
not
measure it.
with the jumbo shrimp, you're not wasting weight on the head that you might not eat, or
Or the
the
shell,
shell.
yeah.
Yeah, there's still some shell on it,
Yeah.
but
Ooh,
yeah.
this
So
is very good to know. This is like little insider trading
right.
tips
Well,
without having to go to prison. We got these cool new T-shirts that you guys just made, and it says it's okay to be shellfish.
Get it? Huh? Right?
It's true.
So,
Except for if you're at Grand Catcher, then it's not okay because you're getting dead and eaten.
yeah, that or hopefully you're not allergic to shellfish,
Yeah.
and then you don't really want to be in that.
It's true. Don't come if you're allergic to shellfish, please God.
Yeah,
Don't scare me like that.
I think that would be the worst place to go to. You know, it's a great idea.
Yes.
I'll just have the fries. And like, it's also not, you don't want, no.
No, you don't. I'm sorry.
You
I
do
can't.
realize it's everywhere.
It's in the air.
You walking in right now
Yes.
is dangerous.
This is a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Has that ever happened? Have you ever had anyone?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What?
Yes. When I worked at Pearl and the Thief, and as well as Grand Catch, maybe last week I had someone come in. I have a shellfish allergy. What can I eat here? And I'm like, holy shit. We do have things that you can eat. Like we have salad, we have a chicken sandwich. We do our best to,
Well, why
avoid
would
cross
you
contamination. But like, man, I can't guarantee it. It's a small kitchen.
Yeah.
It's in the air.
Yeah.
The one that killed me though at Pearl was this woman comes in and she prefaces, I have a deadly shellfish allergy. I'm like, we serve oysters. I'm like, this is
Then
probably
run.
not a good idea.
Then run away.
Yeah.
And she's like, do you have salads? I'm like, yes, we had a compressed watermelon salad. That station is right next to the oyster shucking station. So I'm like, oh my God.
This is just chucking
Oh my God.
just oyster juice everywhere.
So I'm like, I will bring this in for you, ma'am, but like you have to understand that like I can't guarantee this. I'm gonna go yell at the chef right now to like please go downstairs in the basement and prepare this, which they did, and she turned out to be just fine. But it's like, oh man, that just everyone was on edge the whole time.
I think what I would have done is I would have still just made the salad at the station and then just start a pool to see if she goes.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have an EpiPen. Like I hope like the hospital is up the hill. Like if you're okay with this, I guess I'm okay. We should have had a waiver. Or
$10 by the time she leaves.
God.
Ah!
We either do or don't have to call an ambulance.
Right.
I got $10 and we do.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
The over-under is 10 minutes before she huffs up.
Yeah. Oh man, I think that's just crazy though. Customers
And
just
then-
don't understand
Yeah.
like what we go through to take care of them.
Seriously.
Like she doesn't know that he went downstairs and did all this
Or that
stuff.
we have to like, he had to change his his chef's coat.
Yeah.
He had to change his gloves, wipe down the whole state, which is, again, it's fine. I don't want anyone to die. But
Right.
just please appreciate that, like,
Some people.
when you come to a oyster restaurant and you say you're deathly allergic to the thing that we have, maybe don't come.
Yeah.
The whole staff was on edge the whole time.
And now, Chad and Gus, nice to meet you, presents Stories.
What is one of your craziest customer service
Oh, man.
episodes that you had to deal with?
Geez, I have a lot. I had one at Meritage when I was coat check. I remember Ed Helms came in because his buddy was doing the Prairie Home Companion.
Yep.
Chris, I can't remember his name. Anyways, he came and did a guest performance, and then they had dinner at Meritage, and I was coat check, and I saw his name on the reservation list, so I knew he was coming. And he comes in, and he was a wonderful Ed, if you're listening, oh my God, you're amazing. He was so wonderful and humble and kind. But there was this guy that was in the lobby, like, you know, in Meritage where the coat check and the valet is.
Yeah.
You can look through the window and see the dining room.
Right.
And this dude was just walking through and looked in and saw Ed Helms and then proceeded to just hang out with me and the valet for an hour and a half until they were done eating. And I'm like, this is really awkward, and I don't like this. And so I was trying to get him to go, and then I finally told the valet guys, like, hey, can you somehow get him out of here? And so when I saw them get up from
there
there...
is security there, too,
There
though.
is,
So
yes.
what's that? Like,
yeah, well, you can't really do anything for someone just standing there. He wasn't really...
They're loitering.
I suppose, but...
You're too nice.
I am, yeah, probably. So when Ed Helms got up, I caught him inside the restaurant to be like, hey, there's a super fan out here and I can get you your coat and I can send you a different way if you want to avoid him. And he's like, no, I love my fans. I'm like, good for you, man. So I went out there and got him his coat and he went and said hi and he was super gracious to this dude. And so I thought that was really cool. Maybe
good
not so crazy, but yeah, right?
Yeah,
good on you.
Thanks for like retaining the sense of humanity that celebrities are good people.
And now, Chad and Gus, nice to meet you, presents Stories.
I got to bounce a guy on Halloween from O'Malley's years ago.
Wait.
And that was fun. Just little me.
Yeah, I was like,
I got to bounce a guy.
Hold on. How
Yeah.
did that even come up? They're like, look, we just need you to go and take this guy. What?
Basically, it was.
We're all busy.
It was
You
me
bounce
and
him.
one other guy working. We were closing up, and it was just the bar top. And this guy was super drunk and just was being annoying. And so hey man, you go sit down or leave these guys alone or just go.
Yeah.
And then he started yelling at me, and I don't take very kindly to that. So he's like, well, you get the fuck out of my face. I'm like, you get the fuck out of my bar. And he's like, it's not your bar. I'm like, it is now. So we started going back and forth. And
You're just like puffing up your chest.
right, yeah.
What?
And I dropped
It is
him.
now. But I got him with the arm behind his back, and I pushed up on
What?
his elbow
Wait,
and like
what?
pushed him out the door. It was
Wait,
great.
how big is this guy?
Yeah.
I think you're right. He was a big guy, but he was really drunk, so he was kind of
Just
floppy
eased up.
and yeah, and not really.
He had no coordination.
No. So he did half the work for me. You know, his body weight carried him out the door type thing.
You got him
Beer
slightly
belly.
off balance.
Yeah,
Right,
Just fell
right.
forward.
and his
Push
beer
him
belly's
forward.
just like falling forward. He's like,
Exactly.
ah!
So we pushed him out the door, and then I locked us all inside.
Well, that's
and-
rude because you even gave him less of a balance without one arm.
Right.
He's just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and literally just his weight pushed himself out the door, and that was cool.
With how low capacity is, how can you make a small restaurant like that?
Yeah,
Successful.
so this has been the fun thing that like public does not appreciate at all. The labor for a full service restaurant is so high and insane that what I've ended up having to do is we switched to a counter service model. So I don't have a bartender, I don't have servers, everyone does the same job basically. So I bumped up their pay, their hourly pay, to accommodate for that. But now, for example, on a Friday night, instead of having 4 servers and 2 bartenders and 2 bussers and a host and an expo and a food runner, I now have 4 people. So that's how we're saving money on labor, and that's really the only way that we can, is we had to cross-train everyone to learn how to do all these different jobs and pare down our menus for things to make sure we have as little waste as possible. So like our bar right now is wine, beer, tap beer, and then we have 4 cocktails that are just pre-batch. So we have people that know how to make them. But it sucks that we can't do, we can't do full bar stuff.
Right.
When my bartender is on, I'd love to, and we're like, yes, Tim's here tonight, he can do that for you. But it does suck that we can't give all the service that we want, just because I can't afford to have a bartender on doing just that right now. Like, they have to be doing other things.
Well, I think I saw online you're trying to encourage people to keep their visits to about an hour or so.
Hour and 15.
Essentially come eat.
Unfortunately.
Get the hell out of here!
GTDFO.
Yeah, and I definitely
Can you pre-order like your drinks before you get it? If there's like, hey, I got a reservation. I'm gonna need 2 shots, a couple of beers. I'll be there in a bit. Just put it on the tab.
So it's hilarious that we definitely have people who've they've figured this shit out. Like the millennials and 20 to 30-year-olds, we figured it out. They come in, they know exactly, they research online before they get there.
Well,
they look at the menu beforehand, right? Yeah. Because they know that we have a limited, everyone, it's what, an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes that you have? Yeah. So they're on it. They walk in and they're like, cool, I'm ready to order. Like they just come, I bring them to their seats and then they come right back and they order from me. But then I've had some other older guests that sit at the table for 25 minutes chit-chatting and having one cocktail. And I'm like, y'all are running rapidly out of time here. That
don't make me bounce you.
Right. Don't make me come over there.
I will break your arm, old man.
Get the fuck
you
out.
seen what I done to a 6'5" man?
This ain't O'Malley's.
Right.
You don't know me. But sometimes, when you get a chance, you get to review the reviewers.
And critique
the critiquers.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for this part?
Sure.
Okay.
It's a little game we play.
Oh God. Okay.
One, Gus reads reviews
From my restaurant.
from Grand Catch,
Oh fucking.
and we guess the stars of the review, and then we critique or we explain why we thought
Okay.
what that number was, and then we talk about how terrible reviewers are.
God, they are so bad. I hope you bring up the one that I dragged this reviewer on my Facebook because I was so like.
I wonder if I can.
But we'll
find
see.
it. Maybe we might talk about that one afterwards.
One of these days we'll get to doing research first, and then we'll have.
I know her name. I remember it. Like.
All right. So here we go.
Okay.
We're gonna start off this way, and you guess the stars.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So my visit was exceptional. The hostess on March 3rd at 5 p.m. was awesome. The waiter moved quickly and enthusiastically. The bartender whipped up some great, tasty drinks.
Is this Yelp? Where is this from?
I'm not gonna. No, because I feel like you're a manager. You read every single review.
No, I don't. Actually, I had to stop reading reviews because they just pissed me off so much. Like, it gave me, like, visceral responses.
And I never started because I disagree.
Good for you.
I disagree with the idea in general.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell your friends directly or whatever about your experience, but
I'm gonna say 3 stars. Because they said very complimentary things.
No, I'm gonna go 5 because everything about that's a 5-star review.
You would think.
Well, like,
which is why I say it's 3.
Exactly. No, I've docked a few sometimes. I'm like, they don't sound like a 5-star. I'll give them 4. But I'm going to go 5 on there because I think that there was too many compliments.
And what
say with 3.
Chad is correct!
Yay! Yes!
Chad, that is a 5-star.
Back on my game
today. Back on the game.
I need to look and see who was working on March 5th so I can thank them.
You know what's funny? Chad has beat everybody at this game from their own restaurants.
And I don't read them. That's what helps. I never read them.
All right. Oh, all right. Here we go. This one.
I'm a natural born critiquer.
This is very interesting. Okay. So here we go. It was okay for me. Definitely not a huge fan of our food coming in takeout boxes. The lobster roll was just okay, nothing special. The boyfriend and girlfriend spicy drink was great.
Oh, that's true. 3 stars.
I'll go 4. I think.
You're doing the $1 Bob thing to me.
Yeah.
Damn it! I'm still staying with 3.
Well, I think you might be right. I think I'm just
3.
choosing a different one because it's different, and then I can not get right. But I'm gonna go 4.
It's 3 stars.
Nah.
It is 3 stars.
Yeah.
But I think this is a weird comment because, so clearly it must have been recent, and everything was in takeout.
Yes.
Like, you can't. How are you going to dock stars on a restaurant when you're getting it to go? Like, it makes no sense. Like, was it boxed improperly? Was the, by the time you got it home, it's not as fresh.
But they're serving dine-in stuff in to-go boxes, though.
Right now, yes.
Oh.
So, because back in November, and again, this goes back to the labor thing, is we needed to save money wherever we could, and literally having a dishwasher on, just that extra human for 5 or 6 hours, it's not worth it. We also didn't know how busy we were going to be for dining in, because our takeout was just exploding. That's what everyone was doing. So when we were able to open up for dine-in again, we didn't know how busy it was going to be. Reservations aren't as reliable as they should be. And so we're like, let's just keep doing with this takeout style, picnic style, because it limits guest and staff interactions too. I didn't want my staff going back and touching dirty silverware and touching dirty glass, because you eat with your hands at my restaurant, so it's not as sanitary as other restaurants. You're not using silverware. So just that interaction we were trying to limit. Now we're at the point where we're doing well enough that we can bring more staff on, so we are going to be switching back. Yeah. The frustration with that review, though, is that we say all of that up front. Like, when people call for reservations, we tell them that. It's on our Facebook, it's on our Instagram, it's on our website.
Pay attention,
none of
people.
This should be a surprise, because it's like, this is what we have to do to survive. And I'm sorry it sucks, and it does, but do you want us to be around or not?
No, and that is 100% correct. And this is why we critique the critiquers.
Because they should know.
And review these reviews.
And I wish these people would watch this stuff so they would know that, like, oh,
One
there's
day.
more going on than I.
One day we're gonna get big enough.
One day.
Everyone.
One day.
Everyone
Someday.
everyone that critiques will watch to make sure that they don't get made fun of.
Alright, here we go.
That was me.
Our server was amazing. Hand clappy thing. The process of ordering food is clunky.
Yeah.
Food was great. Thumbs up. And then they set up like 6 pictures.
Ooh, pictures are usually good, I feel. 4?
Yeah, I think that's a 4. Nah, I'm gonna give them 5. I'm going up again. I'm gonna go 5 because they had photos. And all they said was clunky.
Yeah.
I don't even understand what that. It was
means
clunky.
awkward.
Because it's
it means
not perfect.
awkward.
Yeah, it's
Because
like,
fucking
sorry,
obviously.
sorry, can you guys lay my shrimp side by
Right.
side opposed to in a basket?
I think it was the way in which they ordered, not
Yeah.
how it was, their order came. I think it was the like.
That was
if you
counter
get
service,
yeah, exactly.
So what'd you say?
I'm gonna go 5. I'm gonna go 5.
I'll say 4.
Ah,
God, yes! That's 2 in a row that you try to upstart
yeah.
just because you don't want to.
Because I agree with her.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
you know.
well, I mean that's not any fun.
We can't agree, yeah.
I need to pick first next.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We can do that.
Okay, and just because I want to read this. All right. If I could rate no stars, you can't even.
That's how it
wanted to rate
starts?
If you
No
wanted
stars?
to rate no stars, I would. My dining experience was horrible. Staff was rude and the catch was watery. Then decided to order takeout and give them a second chance, but no, it was still horrible as they come. Their food was way overpriced for the quality, 100%.
Sorry. Don't like our food, I'm sorry.
Well, so after reading all these other reviews
1
that
star.
you guys said,
Right. Half a star? Can we do that?
yeah. So after reading, because I'm actually reading quite a few of these, and you guys have quite a few 5 stars, and it talks about how great the service is, how great the food is, and just how well the restaurant is put together. It's kind of crazy to me to see something like such a terrible review, and not just once, but he's tried it twice. It's like, listen,
Yeah.
and clearly this is not for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think in terms of how this show's going, it's time to wrap this up a bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're going to announce last week's winner to a gift card from. I don't
To
remember
Eagle
how
Street.
to Eagle Street.
So it's a multi gift card. So
Okay.
you can use it
Okay.
either at Eagle Street or at Oxcart.
Cool.
Technically, you can use it at any of the restaurants through
Excellent.
Madison Group.
Cool.
And this week's winner,
This week's winner!
surprise,
Surprise,
and
surprise!
finally, Rachel Sebesta.
Rachel Sebesta!
It's been in contention every week for the past month. Has not won yet
She
until
hasn't
today.
won.
Aw.
Her patience,
Rachel.
her dedication and patience and kindness and loveliness has
She-
paid off.
She even wrote on the YouTube.
Yeah, maybe I'll win
Maybe
this
I'll
time.
win this week.
And you did.
And you did.
Finally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toby.
I'm so excited for her. She wait till she sees this.
Yep.
Can't
Yep.
wait.
She's gonna be jumping around
And dancing.
and dancing.
Rachel.
Yeah.
She's gonna lose the gift card before she even uses it.
So congratulations, Rachel. Again, thank you to Tina Chapman for joining us
welcome.
from
Thank
Grand
you-
Catch.
Thank you for having me.
Where
Excellent.
is Grand
Oh,
Catch
yeah,
again?
Snelling and Grand. Go west on Grand 1 block. We're right by McAllister College.
And go there.
And go there.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's-
And most likely you'll see her.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's an excellent place. I've been there a couple times.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And reminding you now to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Press the like button, leave a comment, share it with people you know and love. Tell them it's an awesome show that you're hip to, and you're going to be the cool one for letting them know about this great endeavor that we're a part of.
Oh, and Did you say that you might have a gift card for next week's?
Or a shirt.
Or a shirt.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Maybe both. Who knows?
Oh.
So, here we go.
Even
I'm
more
the
of a
GM.
reason.
I can do what I want. It's fun, right?
I do what I want.
Gift cards for everyone.
So yeah, just like usual on the past shows, for this episode, once you do the things like, subscribe, share, and definitely leave a comment, that's what is your guaranteed entrance into the competition.
Comment on the YouTube channel, please.
And then you will get a gift card / t-shirt / both to the Grand Catch. And you'll get to have some excellent seafood boil.
Yeah, yes.
And remember, if you have a shellfish allergy, probably you can still comment.
Opt for the t-shirt.
But opt for the t-shirt. Yeah.
I'll give you a shirt. Please. God, don't come to my restaurant and die. That would be horrible. Please
If you're
don't.
allergic to shellfish, the word printed on a shirt, then
It's okay to be shellfish, but
we'll
allergic to shellfish.
Right.
still leave a comment and
Yes.
give the gift card to a friend.
Sweet.
All right. Well, until then, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gus.
And I'm Chad.
And I'm Tina.
It's nice to meet you. It worked!
We did it!
We did it. Go
That is
team.
the best.
Yeah.
Literally, that was the first time.
This will be the last episode we have now.
Right.
Yeah. No!
Perfected it.
It's gone too well!
Can I say I'm Gus? And then
Yes.
you say you're Chad. And you say you're me. Nice to meet us.
This is how we will fail.
Yep. Exactly. Now that we've discussed all these options,
That's
no
what's
one
gonna
will
happen.
know what happens, and then we'll see.
We'll just
what
be like, something happens. I had customers linger to listen to me talk with a table that was pissed off at me. So like this table was yelling at me, and this other table, which was nearish, they were totally done, and they're just doing. I'm just gonna watch here and pretend I'm having a conversation, but I want to see how this turns out.
Yeah.
And then the minute I was done talking with them, and I got up and left the table, then they all got up and left. I'm like, you fuckers! I didn't need an audience for this. This is awful. I didn't want to have. God, these people
we
were
had your
friends.
back. We just
No,
waited
they
just to-
didn't
no.
though. They didn't. They this table was completely in the wrong, and I'm trying to talk them down off their ledge, and this other couple is just snickering. I'm like, you know what? I didn't need the peanut gallery,
Yeah.
but thanks. My first industry St. Patty's were like holy shit, you're gonna get your ass kicked, And I served, and I remember I made $600. I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
this is the life, man.
Yep.
Yeah, this is it. This is where it's at. So.
I'm gonna do this one more time.
Yeah.
I assisted them outside.
That's like the corporate email
Yeah.
speak where
Yeah.
they're like,
Yes,
how do you
exactly.
say this nicely? And I kicked him the fuck out. It's
Yep.
like, no,
He's like, no, you did not kick him out. You did not kick him the fuck out.
he
No.
was requested to leave the premises
Yes.
forcefully.
He needed assistance in being removed from the building.
There we go. Yes.
I made a defensive maneuver.
You guys have the little network that, at least in Woodbury, we definitely did, where you kick somebody out and, well, I'm gonna fucking go to O'Malley's and bring up O'Malley's. All right, there's a dude coming right now.
Oh, yeah, no.
In a
Oh,
blue shirt and a black hat.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Don't serve him.
No, that's what Gus actually gets him too drunk and then sends him.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is my move. That is my move.
That's why we kick
Like,
someone out.
yeah.
Nice.